I've got my list. I've broken down the bigger tasks into smaller tasks. Now I'm ready to prioritize my tasks. And what that means, prioritize, is figure out what is more important and what I need to do now and sort of spend more time on, and what maybe is not as important or such a big deal. So the way to do this, or at least one way to do this that I happen to use, I think works pretty well, is really think about sort of a couple different categories. One is tasks that are urgent. And by urgent, I mean these are things that need to be completed sooner, like right away. So, for instance, meeting with TS at Stanford, that's something that has to happen on Monday. Like, that's a scheduled thing. I can't not do it at that time. I can't put it off. I can't do it another time. Another thing that is urgent, right? I really need to meet with Mr. Eden, probably before I meet with TS actually, about PLT Lab at the high school, because I'm planning it right now. I can't go forward with any other tasks before I've done that. So that is very urgent for me. I need to do that right away. So that is something I want to keep in mind. Those are urgent tasks. Now, the other kind of tasks I'm looking at are important tasks, right? So important tasks are ones that are a really big deal and would be a big problem if I didn't complete it on time. So again, meeting with Mr. Eden about PLT Lab, that's a pretty important task because I can't do a lot of my other work if I don't complete it, and that's a big deal, so that's important. Another big deal thing, an important task for me, is creating the middle school scope and sequence, because if I don't do that, then the other teachers can't do the work that they need to do. That's a really important task. It's actually the kind of thing that if I didn't do it all, maybe I'd lose my job, right? So that's very important, okay? And then there's things that are urgent and important. So like I said, meeting with Mr. Eden about PLT Lab, that's urgent and important because I need to do that really soon because I have all these other tasks I have to do. So it's important because PLT Lab materials are important, but then also it's urgent because I need to do that soon. Versus the middle school scope and sequence, that is very important, but it is not urgent in the same way that that is. Like, I have a couple weeks before that needs to be completed, so it's a big deal, but it's not urgent and immediate in the way that this are. Right, and then there's some things that are neither urgent nor important, right? Like emailing students to help with office furniture removal. To be honest, like if it really came down to it, someone else could email them. I don't necessarily have to be the person to do it. I said I would, so I will. But it's not super urgent or important in a way that some of these other things are. Like, this could happen later in the week, and it would be okay. All right, so I want to think about those things, and then I'm going to arrange my tasks in the order from what is urgent and important to what is just urgent to just important to neither. So let's do that right now. So again, I said meeting with Mr. Eden about PLT Lab is very urgent and important. Okay. What is another thing? This is important. Handout to do with what to do, and my handout to go. These are actually very important, but not urgent. So there's nothing else that's urgent and important right now. So meeting with TS at Stanford, that is very urgent. So everything that is urgent goes above the important, and then the important things go there. So this is extremely important. Summer PD materials is very important. But again, those are little things. So obviously each little piece of the summer PD materials needs to go up there as important, right? And let's see, the handout for what to do is more important or more urgent than Intro to PLT Lab because that has to come first. So there you go, the finish Google Test tutorial. I need to do that before that. And then finally at the bottom, I have email students to help with office furniture material. It's kind of not very urgent or important, so it's at the bottom of my list. So right now, I can basically look through this list, and because of the way I've ordered it, I know that kind of higher priority things I need to think about more soon and spend more time on right away are at the top, versus things I could sort of spend less energy on, worry less about right now, or get to in a little bit is towards the bottom of the list. So now that I've got it ranged by priority, that really helps me with my planning, as I can know that I really, when it comes down, if I have limited amount of time, I should just focus on the things on the top and kind of not really think about the things on the bottom until I have some more time or until I've completed some of these tasks at the top.